In order to deal with the Jews, the German army classified them. The first type is those who have no productivity, eat, and wait to die. They will shave off women's hair and go to the bathroom. The so-called bathroom is a poisonous gas-like disguise. As long as you open the door outside, a gas will be sprayed out. It only takes a few minutes to make them die without knowing it. The second type is those who can create value technologies. Those who have craftsmanship will arrange to cut things up, determine the purity of gold, and make jewelry. Those who are young and strong will be sent to work and prosper. After all, there are many wandering Jews waiting to join the big family. The third type is also the most exciting. They are toys at the German military banquet. They are treated like animals. With a card in hand, the German army stands on it to compete. Whoever runs slower loses. If you run too slowly, you will be whipped a few times. If you can't run, you will be beaten to death by the German army. No one dares to challenge them. If there is, the German army will be very excited. For example, this old man, just because he interrupted the German army's mood, he was drunk with 2 bottles of high alcohol. It's not over yet. In the face of the old man's begging, the German army threw out a lighter. At that time, the old man's body was full of fierce beasts. Screams made the banquet climax. In the end, dozens of corpses were scattered. Some people can't stand this kind of endless oppression. When I was working outside, I took the opportunity to cut off the wire mesh quietly. Even if they broke into the minefield, the machine gunner on the tower was not a vegetarian. 5 people are still alive. Not waiting for him to run into the woods completely, a German soldier came up with a gun. A well-planned prison break was wiped out like this. However, it didn't end for the German army. When I sent them here, I said, as long as 1 person tries to escape, 10 people will be implicated. As a result, some people don't take it seriously. So in order to strengthen management and regulation, the Jews who can only blame the escapees the moment they knelt down, the officers on the side began to count. Those who were lucky numbers in the point will be killed. Some people can't breathe nervously, but the officers are happy. This is the kind of effect they want. Sasha looked down and looked up again. The officers noticed his angry eyes, but he didn't let anyone kill him, because in his eyes, killing him is as simple as pinching a dead horse's paw. The concentration camp at night was full of death. Only the burning stove was still working. The sound was floating around. The next day, when they were working, Jewish intellectuals came to find Sasha. They know this is not a refugee camp, but an extermination camp. So they plan to escape from here. Sasha's predecessor was a Soviet commander. If he could join them, the success rate of the extermination must have increased greatly. Sasha left after meeting and talking at night. The guards in the concentration camp were stricter than during the day. They met in the laundry room. Lyon planned to leave with 15 people. The target was not easy to be found. As a result, Sasha disagreed. This will kill others. So it's all people who have to leave together. This is not the same as Lai Ang's plan. Not waiting for them to continue talking, a group of people rushed out from the side and kicked them all. Although they can't die, but a lot of flesh and blood can't be missed. Lyon knows that it's a group of cowards who are afraid of death. He may even report to the guards. The next day, Sasha lay in the window, observing the layout outside and how to get through the gate guarded by someone. A 15-year-old boy suddenly gave up. He has lost his patience. He just wanted to leave this damn place right now. But he was humiliated by Lyon because the concentration camp was very quiet today. Not long after, they were all arranged to the platform. A train stopped in front of them. I thought there would be new people reporting today. The moment the door opened, they were stunned. They even kept praying for forgiveness, because this time it's all corpses stacked layer by layer, and no one knows the cause of death. Their job is to take the corpses to the crematorium. But someone suddenly found that someone was still alive, and it was because of this person they contacted that they sped up the plan. Although the last person was shot to death by the German army, but they already knew that this train came from Belsk. The guerrillas liberated there 3 days ago. But most of the Jews in the concentration camp were killed by the German army. Just as they were immersed in a sad atmosphere, a Chaba walked in from the door. Sasha took the initiative to approach. Chaba told him that person today was also Chaba. Those corpses are all Beltsk, and the closest Sobibor is the next target. Because he doesn't want to die, so he wants to join them. Sasha knew that Chaba didn't lie, and they also needed someone to take them to a special place. So they adopted Chaba. At this stage, they need to prepare weapons and bullets. Whether they can leave safely depends on the number of weapons. That night, Sasha found a craftsman. They're exposed to gunfire every day. This is the only source of weapons. As for how to transport weapons, it is naturally a woman working inside. But today's luck seems to be a little bad. Chaba stared at them. Sophia turned over calmly. Chaba looked at the woman's chest. Then he deliberately took out an earring to frame the woman for stealing. Then he started to search. This is his real purpose. When he was playing, he suddenly touched something hard. When he took it out, it was a handgun magazine. What is this? Where did you get it? How dare you, bastard? When Sophia backed away, he closed the door at the same time so that no one could see. And just like Sophia, Chaba just joined them. Looking at the corpse in front of him, Sasha asked him how long he could hold out. At most a day and a half. They would send someone to check him later. Sasha didn't blame him. After all, it was an emergency. They could only advance the plan. Chaba said there were 3 officers on duty. There were only 9 officers in the concentration camp. All they had to do was to lure Chaba out. There was a little boy who was proud of himself. Sasha looked at others. They nodded and said yes. The boy said he often contacted the officers, so he was confident. So, Sasha asked him to go ahead and tell him the specific details of the plan. And in order to make sure the operation was smooth, they specially imitated it countless times, until every step was familiar. At this time, the little boy was fooling an officer and tricked him into the clothing workshop. A leather jacket was hung on the model. The officer was so happy that he couldn't speak. He took off his gun and was ready to try on the new clothes. The first one was successfully solved. The little boy made full use of his advantages and brought another officer under the suite. Words of a Jewish, he also put on this death cape. He was taking a picture of himself at the scene. The second one was done. The third person came to the shoe workshop. Everything was as planned in advance. Although the officer resisted vigorously, it was all in vain, and his rescue voice was covered by the ducks passing by the door. In the end, he fell at the door. In the German armory, the Jewish boy came here alone. He brought the customized jewelry of the other party. Seeing that the German army was not prepared, he pulled out a small knife, hidden in the sleeve. The boy felt that his heart was about to jump out. The sound of the whistle above the line made him overcome his fear. When he left, he took all the guns with him, and the time was just right before the German army changed the port. If he was one step later, he might have been exposed. And at this time, Sophia took the risk and brought several ammunition. Not waiting for them to be happy, the door was suddenly opened. The boy said he had killed an officer. Some people didn't believe him, until he opened the bag and excitedly took out the gun inside. Their hearts couldn't help but beat faster. Only Sophia felt sorry for the boy. Now, they have assassinated 4 officers. Even if the rest of them don't die, they still have a great chance to escape. As they continued to wait, a gunshot rang out. It proved that their actions had been detected. The Jews, who did not know the truth, rushed to the square, as usual. As the officer was about to question who was rebelling, the boy's shot was like a signal. The German soldier on guard shot at him. The boy didn't dare to shoot. 2 German soldiers wanted to close the door. Sophia could only shoot to stop. The others who couldn't shoot were responsible for persuading the Jews who were frightened to escape quickly. The opportunity had been created. They had no choice but to die. In the face of freedom and hope, the German soldiers' fierce resistance couldn't stop them. No, they pushed the prison door open and hit the last shackle with a log. As more and more people joined, the last layer of the shackle was pushed down. This was the largest prison operation. Prior to this, Sophia was the extermination camp where the Jews were exterminated.